All right, number one, A through C, you need to find the area of each figure. So I agree with you on A and B. Remember, this is units squared and units squared. On letter C, remember this is the triangle, which means we need to divide by 2 or multiply by a half. So our answer for letter C should have been 45 units squared. Now, because we forgot our units squared, I'm going to take off a point, so we actually earn 5 out of 6 points for number one. Okay, great job in number two. Yes, Anna and Cortez are correct to be suspicious. Um, you did a great job of adding up all of the angles and saying that they should equal 180 and figuring out what x is and then plugging it back in and showing what the angles should be equal to. 4 out of 4 points. So I think we were a little confused in number three. We wanted the range of the lengths for the third side of a triangle with side lengths of 4 and 9. So I think we got this a little confused with finding the area for this triangle. So in order to figure out the range of lengths, we need to take the difference to find the smallest it could possibly be, and then we take the sum to find out the largest. So our range is actually 5 to 13. So unfortunately, we didn't earn any points for number three. All right, for letters A through J, A, I agree, 30. Um, B should actually be equal to 40. So congruent, not really a reason. C is 40 because it's corresponding. I'm not really sure what, or you're saying it's corresponding to D, but one of them you needed to say was supplementary at least. E should be equal to 110. It's an interior angle. F is equal to 110 because it's either corresponding to E or it's vertical to the 110 here. G should be equal to 30. I agree. And not an exterior angle, though it has more to deal with the triangle sum. So meaning F plus G plus D should give me 180 degrees. H is equal to 140. You need to give me a reason for that, but I agree. I is equal to 70. I is not corresponding with any angle, but it is supplementary to 110. And J is not corresponding, but it is vertical to I. So out of the 20 points possible, we're going to take away 8 and give you 12 out of the 20. In number 5, we needed to find the area and perimeter of the shape below. I can see that you were trying to make it a rectangle and then subtract some areas, but I don't think we subtracted the right areas. Um, what we should have done is just broken up our shape. We could break it up into a trapezoid, a rectangle, and a square, or we could break it up even more and put it into a triangle. So what happens here is then this side length is 8 because I know that this is 6. This side length becomes, I know that this part's 6, and if this is 22 and it only is 10 to here, then I know that I have this is 10, so this is also 6, which would give me a total of 22. The one thing I don't have is this measurement here. I don't necessarily need it for area, but I do need it for perimeter. So if we use Pythagorean and say 6 squared plus 8 squared is equal to that side C, we get 36 plus 64, which is 100, equal to C squared. So C is actually equal to 10. So now I have all the parts of my shape labeled. So in order to find area, I could say this is equal to 36, this is equal to 48, this one's equal to 80, and this triangle here, here's my base and my height, is equal to 48. So it's kind of matching this rectangle here, but it's a triangle, so it's half. So it's only actually equal to 24. And if I take 36 plus 48 plus 80 plus 24, I should get 188 units squared. Okay, that's my area. Now perimeter, I simply need to add up just the side lengths. So I'm going to take 6 plus 14 plus 22 plus the 10 that I found plus the other 10 and end up with 68 units. So unfortunately we didn't earn any points for that problem. So we need to solve for x in each of the figures in number 6. This one required us to use Pythagorean theorem to solve for x squared. So 17 squared is 289, 25 squared is 625. That equal to x squared, I get 914 is equal to x squared, but I need to take the square root of both sides. You were told to round to the nearest hundredth place, so x should be approximately 30.23. In letter B, we were told that we had a square, which means that all of the sides of the square are the same length. And to find the area, which they gave me for a square, I need to take those lengths, base times height. That's what area is equal to. And this area is actually equal to 1,487, or x squared is equal to 1,487, excuse me. So now I'm going to take the square root of both sides, so I end up with x is equal to approximately 38.56. In letter C, you did an excellent job taking the perimeter and setting it equal to the two sides that are equal to 3x plus 1 plus the two sides that are x minus 7. So yes, x does in fact equal 12. So we did earn 3 out of 9 points for number 6. In number 7, you did an awesome job with these transformations. You're just really going to be angry at me when I take a few points off for not using correct prime notation. However, we still did a great job transforming. So first we had to graph. Your graph looks great. Then we had to translate down 8 and right 6. So I'm looking for just single primes here. So I'm going to get you with one off there. However, the new A prime is at 0, negative 6. Rotating 90 degrees. Now you did try to do the primes here, which is great, but these needed to be double prime. Okay, I even told you here what are the coordinates of A double prime, but again, you've given me the correct coordinates, so we're just getting 1 for prime notation. And then you reflect it across the x-axis, and these should be my triple primes. All right, but again, A is at negative 6, negative 2, so you really did do a great job transforming. We just need to remember that prime notation. So we did earn 6 out of 9 points for number 7. Okay, great job in number 8 using substitution to solve for x. I can see that your x and y are equal to 1, 3, and then you checked by graphing and showing the intersection, which it can also see is at the coordinate 1, 3, excuse me, so 5 points for number 8. Number 9 is asking what kind of angles 6 and 1 are. Now they aren't corresponding. 6 and 2 are corresponding angles, But what 6 and 1 actually are same side interiors, but that's not an option here. However, same side interiors, when you add them together, they do equal 180. So the correct answer for number 9 is actually that 6 and 1 are supplementary angles. So we missed out on that one. All right, so these triangles are in a bag and you need to reach in and pull one out at random. So the first question is the random one I pick out, what's the probability that it's scalene? So we can see from the markings that we have 1 scalene and we have 2 scalene. Okay, so your probability is correct. To make sure that we have a scalene here, however, we should have checked by using Pythagorean, because it's going to come back to help us later. So we end up with b squared is equal to 64. So this last side of this right triangle is 8. That's going to prove helpful here in letter C. But back to our other probabilities. So now the question is, what's the probability that the triangle is isosceles when we pick it out of the bag? So here I have 1 isosceles, I have 2 isosceles, but my equilateral triangle is also considered to be isosceles. So this probability should really have been 3 out of the 5 triangles in the bag are considered to be isosceles. Now, however, letter C, at least one side of the triangle is 8 units long. We can see that we have one side here that's 8, one side here that's 8, another, and another, so 4 to 5. So actually, I'm not sure if you did the Pythagorean and you just didn't show it, but you did get the correct probability for letter C. So you earned 2 out of 3 points for number 10. Okay, number 11, your algebra looks great, and I actually like that you left letter B as 9/2 instead of showing me 4.5. So we earned 6 out of 6 points for our algebra work. Okay, number 12, great job. Your graphs look excellent. You're showing me that the base of the triangle is 5. The height of the triangle should be 6. I'm not sure why your 6 is out there, but however, um, your work here, you remember to divide by 2. So just remember to show that you're going to divide by 2 at some point. But the area is in fact 15 units squared. I'll leave you alone on that one this time. We'll give you 6 out of 6. All right, so the area of the shaded region below, you're supposed to calculate that one first. So the original area, if we had, if it was all shaded, yes, would be 48. But in fact, we need to subtract the 6. So my original area is equal to 42 units squared. So I was looking for that answer right off the bat. Okay, now your transformation over here is great. Okay, showing this new unshaded region. So your area for that one is, yes, 36 units squared. So I know that you found the original area to be 42. You just needed to write it down. Okay, now suppose the original is reflected across the y. So that transformation needed to come over here. I think we reflected across this side, which kind of helped us out in this one. The area is still correct, so I am going to give you credit for finding that area, but I am going to take a point off for not creating the correct transformation. So now we need to rotate. So we're missing that rotation. We were supposed to rotate clockwise. I stated that in class. So our new rotation would have come over this way. So actually only 2 units would now be, 2 more units will be unshaded. So we need to take the 30 and subtract just 2 to give us 28 units squared. And then we need to suppose the smaller rectangle is reflected across the x-axis. So we're missing that one unless this was your one that was supposed to be reflected across the x. Either way, it's either we count this one wrong or we count this one wrong, but we need to reflect across the x-axis, which is this axis right here. So our reflection is actually going to be all the way down here. Taking away only 3 new units. So we have 28 minus 3, which leaves us with 25 units squared. So we've got the area and the transformation for the first one correct, so that's 2 points. We have the area correct for part B. There's 3 points, but we forgot the area right away, and we didn't do our transformations for areas for C and D, so we earned 3 out of the 10 points.